Hello. We are back. Alright, so first things first, what happened to the race I was gonna do on Saturday? Good question. Very valid question. So basically, oops, oh god. Uh, oh, do I need to click this again, by the way? Sorry, getting distracted. I do. So what happened? Saturday I went to work and everything was fine until about like halfway through my shift. And basically, like, there was a sudden pain that made me think I was basically gonna die in the back room of GameStop. So to prevent that, I thankfully had someone else there with me, so I could just say, hey, I think I gotta go to the emergency room real quick. And emergency room wasn't the most helpful because of what's going on in Texas at the moment. But we have checked in with our primary doctor to figure out, kind of more what was going on, and they basically sorted me out, so no concerns there anymore, but it was frightening for a couple of days, and the pain is still kind of there, but less so than it was. It, for the most part, like, it's not constant anymore, but, like, every now and then it kind of spikes up. But it's fine right now, so hopefully nothing to be concerned about. They said it could pop up again, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's not something I have to worry about. But anyways, that's Saturday. And then Sunday I basically just, like, pretty much slept the full day. Outside of, getting checked up to see what was going on, because that happened on Sunday, actually, but yeah, then I just, like, slept the whole day, and, tried to feel better in the moment. Wait, why am I, okay, that makes sense, God. But also, so I slept like 90% of the day. The 10% of the day I didn't sleep, I played Grim Dawn for the first time since it was on sale. Decided I would go ahead and get that. And it's got my Path of Exile muscle memory just slightly messed up. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about Grim Dawn, honestly. It's really hard for me to play any other ARPG after Path of Exile. Like, I played D2 ages ago, right? And, enjoyed it. I think I've beaten it once. And I think that's it. I think I maybe got to, like, a few acts in with a friend, but yeah, I pretty much only beaten D2 once. For the most part. But Grim Dawn, I don't know, it feels much more similar to Diablo than it does Path of Exile, but that's probably pretty understandable as to why. The thing is, so, like, I don't know. Path of Exile has made a lot of, like, very good advancements in what an ARPG should be, in my opinion. Like, the amount of control you have on items at any given moment is, like, way more satisfying than just getting I mean, for the most part in Grim Dawn, I'm just getting, like, absolute garbage, and I'm like, okay, I guess this is fine. You know, it's got, like, nothing that's really super exciting for me, but sure. Like, I have yet to get, I'm, like, level 17 in Grim Dawn. I have yet to get an item that I'm like, oh my god, this is meant for me. It's pretty much just, like, very minor upgrades here and there, and, so far the game seems really, really easy, too. So, like, it doesn't let you play on the higher difficulty modes until after you've beaten normal. I'm playing it on veteran mode. Like, I'm doing normal veteran mode, and I'm doing hardcore, too. Just because I thought it would be more of, like, a fun learning experience, but so far I haven't really learned anything outside of the fact that the game is, like, super forgiving. There's only been one instance when I... Like, if there's one thing that actually, like, really bugs me about the game, and I'm kind of like, this is not good, is, the fact that enemies have an aggro range is, like, really weird and pretty off-putting. It's like, I don't know. I don't feel like that's really a good idea in an ARPG. It's just kind of like, I don't know. The way it works is, like, it just allows you to cheese enemies way more than I think you should be able to, because you just find a pack of enemies, and if they're too hard, you'll kind of, like, you know, dodge backwards a little bit. And then eventually the enemies just decide, okay, I guess we are going to leave this guy alone, because he has walked backwards too far. And then you just, like, attack the enemy's back while they walk away from you, and it kind of, I don't know, defeats any sort of plausible challenge. So that's how, like, most encounters go for me in Grim Dawn. There are also, I mean, I just got to a point in the game where there's, like, a significantly larger amount of ranged enemies, but for the most part they were melee guys up to this point, and not very threatening either. I also understand that by using a ranged weapon myself, I am, like, sort of giving myself more opportunity to kind of cheese the systems in the game, but also, like, I don't know, they make it too easy to cheese. Or at least it feels like you're cheesing, because you you just, like, walk away slightly and then shoot enemies in the back. I don't get it. So there's been one instance where I've actually been locked in with an enemy so far, and I did almost die, but I didn't, because the game gives you way too many options to escape death. I just used a health potion, put down, like, the portal, and left. So I don't know how I feel about Grim Dawn's difficulty at the moment. Guess I'll take this. Who knows? But I definitely don't like the fact that you could so easily kite enemies. Like, that's kind of... like, enemies, once aggroed, should just follow you to the end of the earth. I don't understand why they felt the need of introducing... Like, maybe it was for performance reasons, but the game runs just fine. I have no clue why they decided to put in, like, aggro range. Feels very out of place. But yeah, after playing Path of Exile, like, I don't know how I would go back to any ARPG that doesn't let you, like, have this much control over your equipment. And also, like, a majority of the modifiers on items in Grim Dawn just feel very, like, not impactful, and also I don't even know what like 90% of it is. Like, what the fuck is vitality damage? What the fuck is considered pierce damage? Like, this stuff is very not explained anywhere. Nowhere as far as I can see. I mean, they literally on the front page of the game link you to like the Wikipedia. So maybe they expect you to do some research before playing, but I don't know. Also, the devotion tree is like really messy.
There is nothing else.
In my opinion. What do I want to pick here? I think I want hatred, right? I have not been paying attention to Path of Exile at all. Yeah, I take hatred. And that is my only aura. Oop, what? I forgot I had these. Well, I can take those off now. I might as well keep the Herald on until I get the keystone that means I can only have one active aura. I mean, technically I could run the Herald and the aura, but it's too expensive. What am I doing? I need to talk to Clarissa, which I just did, and then I go back. So, what else is weird about Grim Dawn? I don't know. A lot of it is kind of weird to me. I think it's... If there's one thing that I approve of, it's the fact that they basically give you... I mean, literally give you unlimited portal scrolls. Like, portal scrolls are a weird fucking currency. I feel like the only reason it is an item in Path of Exile is just because it was an item in Diablo, and it's like some easy to drop low level loot item. Same thing for identifies, honestly. I would have to think about that longer. Like, what is the value of unidentified items? Like, what is the added gameplay element of making you identify something? I've never really thought about it, but Grim Dawn doesn't make you identify things, and I'm not sure if it's better or worse. I'll say it feels better, but that's kind of like surface level, and I haven't played a lot of it, so maybe I wouldn't feel that if I played it longer. I don't know. Like, what is that? What is the purpose of identifying something? Is it to excite you on like getting a base item that could be really good for you, but you're not sure, and then there's like a little bit of build up before you like unveil, oh, is this going to be good for me or not? I don't know. Because, like, if it's on the ground, the way it works in Grim Dawn is, like, you can mouse over an item, like this. It says unidentified, right? Just pretend we're playing Grim Dawn, and what actually happens is items drop like this. There's something to be said that if items drop identified, because, like, I definitely do it while playing Grim Dawn, I look at the item ahead of time, and I'm like, oh, that's garbage for me. I'm not even going to pick it up. Whereas, you know, seeing, oh, you know, one-handed dagger, that might be exciting for me. But I don't know. What is the benefit to that? What is the benefit to making me pick up more equipment? I guess it definitely helps with the pacing and, like, not flooding you with unnecessary information while like actively in the gameplay. Like, it's a lot easier. Definitely you can ignore commons, right? But like you know, if I get an item like this, I'm like, okay, that's a sword. I know that I kind of want swords, right? Like, it's not the perfect sword, it's a thrusting sword, which doesn't have the right implicit that I really want for this build, but you know what? It's a sword. It's a one-handed sword. I use those. I don't have to worry about the modifiers. I know it has up to 6 modifiers on it. I just take it. So there's definitely something to be said that if items drop with modifiers unveiled, like how they do in the Vol areas, right? Like, you're going to look at them, and maybe you don't want your players to look at them, because it slows down the pacing of, like, actual combat. And then when the player wants to, you know, think about their equipment they're wearing and what's in their inventory and everything, they have the option, and they're like, okay, let's unveil everything, see what everything is. So I guess I see the positive to having identification. Maybe not the best to have it as a currency item, but also, like, Path of Exile kind of needs a super cheap currency item that you find everywhere, because like, I don't know, it feels kind of weird if nothing is dropping anything. But I guess with the loot filters, like, everybody, by the time they get to mapping, turns off wisdom scrolls, so it's a weird thing. I think I'm going to say for now, I definitely lean towards the idea of, yes, things should be identified, but I don't necessarily agree that it should be via a consumable item. Like, maybe you just either go into a town and everything is identified automatically, or, you know, if they wanted to, they could have an NPC for it or something, but oh, I should turn on hatred, huh? Also, how is my mana? I haven't really been paying attention to it. I haven't had to use a mana potion in a while, so let's see. Yeah, the leech is definitely compensating. Is it? I need to get against, like, a really tanky guy. Give me this guy. It's actually not keeping up enough. Damn, dude. I would have thought that the amount of... What is it? How much mana leech is it? It's like... My Path of Building tells me it's pretty high, but that's with, like, much more damage than I'm currently doing. Maximum recovery per mana leech, 25. Oh. That makes sense. This is based on your max mana? Well, yeah, it says 10%. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think there's a number of factors that will get better without actually needing to invest more into mana leech. Like, I will be able to leech more just by having more mana. And I will pretty much always reach my max leech because of the damage I do. Wait a second. It says attack damage, right? Yeah, okay, attack damage. I was making sure it wasn't, like, physical damage or something, and I'm not actually leeching. I am. So it helped my mana issue, but it's not perfect. But, yeah, I don't know. The skill system in Grim Dawn is also, like, you know. Like I said, it's more a Diablo than it is a Path of Exile. It's just, like, really, really hard for me. And that's what I was thinking about D4, too, because, like, they've shown some, like, very little, to be fair. They've shown very little about D4. But everything that I've seen, at least, it just looks like another Diablo game, which is obviously what they're going for. But I mean, okay, not even another Diablo game, because D3 is very, very different than D2. It looks more similar to D3 than anything else. What is this latency from? So, that's a little concerning, because, like, I don't know. I literally played, like, a few hours of D3 with a friend of mine, and was not impressed. So I didn't even get the game for myself. I played it at their house. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if D4, it feels like they're very much just looking at, like, Diablo. Like, as a sequel, they're like, okay, how are we going to make a better, a more successful Diablo game? And I'm not saying that that's, you know, bad in general, and then that shouldn't be, like, part of their plan. That should definitely be part of their plan. But it feels, at least to me, that they haven't really looked at other ARPGs in the market, because, like, I don't know. Like, another example is Wolcen, which I did not play at all, but I saw a little bit of it. Wolcen definitely, I should probably ID that, right? No. Wolcen definitely, like, from what I saw, you wouldn't look at Wolcen and be like, this game was made by people who have never seen Path of Exile. Like, there was some clear inspiration here and there. Whereas with D4, it feels like, I don't know if they're intentionally doing it or what, but it feels like they're very much not trying to take anything from any other ARPG, whether it's a good improvement or not. So I don't really know if that's the right call for them, but maybe it is. Maybe D4 is incredible. I need to really quickly see where I'm going in this tree. This is not the right tree I have open. Whoopsies. Okay. I do use Herald of Ice. Oh my fucking god. I was looking at the wrong Path of Building profile. Cool. So I still, I mean, throwing away precision doesn't really matter. I am glad I didn't throw away glad I did not throw away what I will actually be using. Why can't I fucking think? I need to go here. Glad I didn't throw away Herald of Ice, because I will be using that. Okay, I got the thought out. Moving on. Grim Dawn also, like, it just feels like I can't say it's bad that it feels slow, because, like, Path of Exile is definitely too fast in some areas. Like, do you see the absolute ridiculous speed these projectiles off of my sword come out? Like, they are fucking instant. And for player projectiles, I think that's honestly fine. I don't really mind that. Although, in a PvP environment, like... So it doesn't really matter, because PvP... Well, actually, is there team-based PvP? I I don't know about that in Path of Exile. I think there is. Assuming there is, because there might be. Those projectiles are too fast. And, like, it's not just these frost blades. Like, projectiles are way too fast. And I'm not saying that Path of Exile should be balanced for PvP. There are definitely arguments that I do agree with, for the most part, about PvP, and that, like, you know, you should always strive to balance around PvP, because then you will just inevitably have a more balanced game. There are some cases in which that makes sense, and some cases in which it doesn't. I don't necessarily think it makes complete sense in Path of Exile, because, like, you can't... It would take away, like, the heart and soul of Path of Exile if they had to balance around being fair for PvP. Like, the whole exciting thing is how drastically strong good players can make their characters. And, you know, to some degree, you can argue that, like, well, at the very least, like, 2 players that are, you know, decently good at making builds in the game should be able to compete at a competitive level. If, you know, they're both equally as good at making characters, then why is one of their characters going to win every time and one of them is going to lose every time? I mean, it's just like, you know, you can have a very good character that's good at, like, clearing maps and has great clear speed, right? But doesn't have, like, any single target damage, and, you know, you have to kind of work around that and compensate either by using a different skill for a single target or, you know, finding some solution. So I don't think, like, Path of Exile shouldn't look at that and be like, well, you know, this skill isn't being used in a PvP scenario, so, you know, we should fix this skill so it's better for PvP. That just makes no sense. I think that there's definitely a place for that argument in saying that, you know, PvP will make your game more balanced, but I don't think Path of Exile is it. I think you can have a game focused on PvE, and in some cases make it better because you don't have to focus on PvP. A good example would be relating it to, like, say, Hearthstone versus Path of Exile. Like, some of the cards in Path of Exile... Or, sorry, did I say Path of... What is going on with my head? Hearthstone and Slay the Spire, Jesus. Some of the cards in Slay the Spire wouldn't work. Like, you can't allow decks to be made like they can be made in Slay the Spire for a PvP game. Like, what do you do if you know, say you're playing Constructed and you come up against someone who's just got, like, a literal endless deck that never ends, right? Obviously, that is something that wouldn't be very tolerated in PvP. And there are some things like that in Magic where people basically go endless. But I don't know. I think it should definitely be avoided. That level of control. And, you know, a lot of it is luck-based in Magic at the very least, but still. I don't know. I don't really like PvP card games. But anyways, that's an entirely separate topic. I think that Spire, you know, it benefits from being able to design things that wouldn't be fair in a PvP scenario. It allows the game to be more fun and entertaining in a PvE scenario – because it doesn't need to worry about PvP. and it balances around the predetermined enemies that you can find in the game. And there are some bosses that make certain, you know, deck setups harder to work with, and all of this is knowledge that the player learns and works with accordingly. But none of that balance is really possible if they also have to, on top of that, think about how cards would be balanced if you were fighting with someone else. So, I don't think the argument of PvP makes your game more balanced is honestly, like, a fair argument to bring up ever, in most cases. But I definitely don't think it makes any sense in Path of Exile's case. There aren't many cases in which I would be like, I understand that argument, honestly. Because, like, in general, the most fun thing for the player in any game, I feel, is having an extremely unfair advantage over your enemies. Now, there's something to be said about, you know, like, a really hard-met challenge, too. Like, you definitely don't want it to be a breeze at all moments. But especially in a game where you're, like, creating a character very in-depth, and I would say that Path of Exile is the game where you build characters most in-depth compared to any other game. A lot of the satisfaction comes from, you know, you first play the game and don't understand how anything works, and, you know, like, you're taking 10 swings to kill, like, these white mobs. Don't even have any modifiers. 10 is a bit much, but you know what I mean. Like, it would be surprising for someone's first build to look the way mine does at this point in the game. And I'm not saying that this is a great build either, because, like, you know, I'm not the best Path of Exile builder, and, you know, that's why I keep playing, because it's fun to improve. And also, you know, they keep adding more content to the game, which helps. But yeah, there's just a ton you can do in this game. Oh my god, I've never seen this one. 5 additional magic items, 5 additional rare items guarded by 3 rogue exiles. Contains additional unique items, contains no other items. Okay. Woo! Alright, what do we got here? I like don't know what I need for this character because it's been a few days, and also I fucking played another ARPG in between. Amber Amulet might be good. I mean, I should take all accessories at the very least. Which it was all accessories because it was a jeweler's strongbacks. That makes sense. Sure. Give me the chromatic. But yeah, I don't think that every game should balance around PvP. Doesn't make sense to me. Also, what was going on there? Was that the boss doing that, or was I doing that? Weird, like, water explosions. But yeah, back to Grim Dawn, just as a topic of discussion. It's weird. There's, like, a lot of stats and, like, so many different resistances, and I have no idea what does what kinds of damage or anything. I already got the crafting recipe, don't know why I'm here. I mean, obviously that's stuff that you kind of learn the more you play the game, and I understand that. But at the same time, is very frustrating, like, picking up an item that has, like, you know, increased vitality damage, and I have no fucking clue if I'm doing vitality damage. Like, what does that even mean? Like, I am doing damage to the enemy's vitality. Does that not count as vitality damage? Oops, where'd I go? I accidentally clicked. What am I missing? Oh, I never got the item on the docks. That makes sense. I wasn't paying attention at all. Not surprising. It's somewhere around here. I'll have to play more to really, you know, judge what I feel about the skill system and the... Most importantly, like, the devotion tree is very, very weird to me. Like, it feels super messy, kind of. It's like way too much information up front, and like, to even figure out where you want to spend your first point is like an unbelievable amount of like panning through a massive fucking skill tree. Which, you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Path of Exile. You can say, well, what's the difference from this? You know, this is a massive fucking skill tree that if you want to make an informed decision, you have to pan through, you know, every fucking node of, like, thousands. It's different, because in Path of Exile, the very first skill point you spend, you have two options. Do you want to do more projectile damage, or do you want, you know, evasion and life? Okay? Whereas the devotion tree in Grim Dawn, at the very first you have 5 options, so it's more akin to Scion Start, which this is why Scion isn't a playable character until you get to Act 3. Because it is a lot harder for new players to be like, okay, where am I fucking going on this tree? Where at the very least, if you make it to Act 3 as a character before, you kind of understand at least a little bit more to be able to build from the center of the tree. But anyways, the devotion tree gives you 5 options at the start, but those options are very important because depending on which of the devotion things you pick, it determines what... Why is that there? It determines what other... So it's like split up into multiple different skill trees for those who have never played Grim Dawn and have no idea what I'm talking about. The devotion skill tree, or whatever they call it, it's just called like devotion. It's like a bunch of very, very small skill trees. So think of it as like Ascendancy in Path of Exile, but you can take multiple different Ascendancies, and the ones you can take depend on which Ascendancies you took beforehand, basically. So you start off with one of the Ascendancy trees unlocked, basically. And I'm going to go back to calling it Devotion trees, because that's what it actually is. You have one Devotion tree that has 5 different nodes you can take in it. And depending on which node you take, because those nodes are very, very weak, they're not, like, impactful at all, it's just, like, little extra defense, a little extra damage, or, like, I forget what the other one is, like a little extra life, I don't know. So yeah, super not exciting at all. I should take a second and ID all of these jewelry items. So, yeah. The only purpose of that first point is it kind of determines what Ascendancy trees or Devotion trees you are going to be able to take in the future. That's better. Am I not going to be able to wear equipment if I take that off? It looks like I'm fine. That belt is decent. Let me just work through these resistances and accessories real quick. What are these uniques? That one is... I mean, honestly, not horrible for right now. It is less life. Whatever. I don't really care. I'll just throw it in my bin. Who cares? Oops. Not that one. That one. What is that? Ah. The one that wants you to be on fire. Okay. So. Oh, did I even look at this? No. Yeah, that's better. Oops.
Let me tell you.
You really have to... I hate how you can't do that while in a shop menu. Alright, there you go. Now I can talk again. Fucking... Maybe I can't talk. I should be able to. Yo, big news. I didn't know about the announcement they had already made about them planning on introducing like auto sorting.
Stay out of the shadows.
Control click in the stash tabs. That's really cool. Excited for that change. Alright, so yeah. You have 5 options on the devotion tree. And you get the devotion points very, very spread out and pretty rare. So they're big decisions when you actually get them. But literally the first devotion point is so important because, like, and as far as I can tell, at least so far, there is no way of respecking them. I did find there's a way of respecking your skill points, but I don't know about devotion points. Those might be like more impactful and meaningful, and they don't want to allow you to respec them, which I hate that argument. I really hate the argument that respecking makes like skill points less meaningful. It's just, it makes the game more enjoyable. It makes it easier for new players to learn your game if you allow them to recover from their mistakes instead of making them play, you know, the entire campaign over again to correct what they did wrong. So I really dislike people who want to argue that respecking somehow takes value away from skill points. I don't get it at all. I heard the original Diablo 2 developers talking about that, and I was just like, what are you fucking talking about? I don't understand that line of reasoning at all. But yeah, hopefully there is a respec option for the devotion points, because it was just way too much information at once. Since the first point you spend in your first devotion tree unlocks like what devotion trees you were able to branch off from next, and you are like hard capped on how many devotion points you have total. So it's not like, oh, well, it'll slow me down if I make a mistake, but eventually I'm going to get everything. No. If you make a mistake, and if it is permanent, it is like a permanent detriment to your build for messing up early on. So the first decision you make really is like the most important decision, which is just horrible by design. Basically means that unless new players spend like hours looking at literally every single node in every single devotion tree to figure out what like devotion orbs, I forget what they're called, they're like the colorful little orbs you get for devotion trees, Like, that's what limits what trees you can take, and that's why the first point is so important, because it gives you one of the, you know, little orb things that lets you go into the other trees. So. And there's not even, like, a clear indication of, like, oh, well, the green orbs are, you know, for if you're going to be doing ranged attacks, the blue orbs are if you're going to be using magic, or fucking elemental damage, or whatever. There isn't a clearly drawn out line for what the different colors actually do, other than they are separate. And if you want a rough idea, because I'm sure that, you know, actually if I looked at the trees and, like, saw, oh yeah, blue actually is, like, much more defensive, and, you know, green is, like, elemental damage or on trigger effects or whatever, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't really look at it too much, but I'm sure that there is some sort of, like, coherent theming behind each of the colors, but they don't tell you that. When you hover over it, it just gives you, like, some flavor text about what gods those devotions are associated with, which I do not care at all about. I just want to know if I'm making a good decision or not. So yeah, it basically forces the player, like, hey, if you want to... And maybe they allow you to respec in the future, but at the very least, like, nothing has led me to believe that, and... even if there is a form of respecking, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like if there is a form of respecking, you should outline it to the player early on. I think Path of Exile made a very good decision by not the very first quest, but, like, one of the first quests you do gives you, like, passive respec points. So even if you're not going to use those passive respec points for fucking decades, you at the very least know, oh, that's an option, so I don't have to be too concerned about making, like, a character destroying mistake that makes me have to restart the whole game. And you probably will, because it's Path of Exile, and it's, you know, it's kind of hard to make a good character if you've never played it before, but... I mean, you can make a character that beats the campaign easily, even if you've never played the game before. So long as, like, you grasp pretty early that resistances are, like, really important, you're not going to have too much trouble in the campaign. But you're probably not going to be pumping tier 16 maps on your first character. Probably not. It's just the way it is. But I don't know. It's like, at the very least, at any moment in Path of Exile, they don't give you too much, like, all at once. Like, you can argue, like I said, this is too much all at once. And I don't know, there probably are some things they could do to make this better for new players without removing any of the complexity, but I still argue, like, maybe by the time you get to around here in the passive tree and you can actually start branching out, maybe then you can make an argument that it's kind of, like, overwhelming on which direction you want to go in, but there's a search function where I could just do, like, oh, I want to do cold damage, hey, there's cold damage here, 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 you know, it lights it up. Or actually, I think that's resist, isn't it? Yeah, pretty much. But anyways, yeah, they give you a search feature. It's not the best, but the most important thing is they give you respecs. Like, if you make mistakes, you can go back and fix them, and it's not too big of a deal. And like I said, I do think that the game does a fairly good job of, like, limiting the options early on. Like this, now that I think about it, I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is probably a mistake, right? Like, I feel like if I just went here, I could get more life with those extra points, but no. It's 4 points instead of 3 points. That's probably fine. Anyways. I mean, what if that was a mistake? What if by doing that, I missed out on like getting a really important notable that would have been better than those life nodes? Then yeah, I could respec that, and that would be fine, and everything would be good. So there's no permanent like character destroying mistakes, which, you know, I just don't understand the argument of like, yep, respec points are bad. We want players to have those like completely character destroying mistakes. I don't see why. And it's like, you can make mistakes and like figure it out afterwards and be like, oh, well, that's suboptimal, but it's okay because my character is still like fine enough. Like I can still beat the game with this. And yeah, you can beat the game with a character with tons of mistakes. Like I guarantee if I sent my tree to someone who has like, you know, a few thousand hours in Path of Exile instead of a few hundred, they would be like, oh, holy shit, why are you picking this node instead of this node? And oh my god, why are you taking this keystone? So, sure. You know, part of the fun is learning how to build better characters in the future. Which is why I don't really like meta builds, but I've already talked about that a decent amount. I don't think it would be any more fun if you weren't allowed to respec, though. Did I already get... Okay, I already got all of the pages. Whoops. Like, I just don't understand the argument at all. Like, if I noticed I made a mistake, like, halfway through playing my character, like, yes, I could continue to beat the game with the mistake. But knowing I made the mistake will just make my build feel worse to me the more I play it, and I'm just going to be more incentivized to restart, which I kind of hate. Whereas, thanks to the magic of respecking... Where am I? Oh, okay. I was not seeing that top part of the map. Thanks to the magic of respecking, I am able to fix my mistake. And I have learned for the future how to make builds better. I need hypothermia and ice bite, so this is a fun one. And second wind, actually. Alright. And fortify, actually. I need 4. I need 4 of these. I think the most important is hypothermia. No, the most important is ice bite. Oh, actually, wait. I don't take fortify, that's the other character. I made 2 characters that are like way too similar. One is for softcore that I will be playing off stream because it's a very shitty build, but you know, I can't just play hardcore forever. Alright, that's fine for now. I don't care about the others, I'll get them later. Alright, elemental damage with attacks, added cold damage, get out of here. Give me ice bite. Nice. Alright, what was I saying?
Hello.
I was saying I like respecs. I was saying I like respecs, and not only do I like respecs, I like, or at least I think that Path of Exile does a decent job of not overwhelming players. I'm sure plenty of people would argue that, or against that, I mean. Let's just keep going. Which is fair. It does, I mean, the game is overwhelming in a lot of reasons, but like, I don't think the passive skill tree is as bad as it could be. Like, it could be a lot worse. case in point, I think that the devotion tree in Grim Dawn is like probably about as bad as a skill tree gets. Like, and I'm sure that there are players that will argue the opposite and be like, well, actually, it gives you so much more control because, you know, you can go basically anywhere you want. And like, here's the thing. That's what people say about this skill tree. They say you can go anywhere you want. And that's also the reason a lot of people argue that this is overwhelming. The reason I think that this is less overwhelming than the devotion tree is because, like I said, this gives you 2 options, whereas the devotion tree is basically like, you can start at literally any notable. Like, if you want to make a good decision, then look at every single notable on the tree, and that's how you make your educated decision on what to pick first. Whereas in Path of Exile, you don't have to do that. At first, you have 2 options. That's it. And then it branches out to 4 options. And then it branches out to 6 options. But, you know, it kind of eases you in, and you can quickly see, like, nearby what would be interesting. And, oh, hey, there's a big thing for bows. I'm making a bow character. That's probably good, right? Like, you get a clear outline of what is good for you, and most of the time, if you're going for a certain kind of character, what is good for you is going to be close by. Now, as you get better at building characters, you realize, oh, well, actually, even though there is a lot of good stuff for me over here, glancing blows is actually, like, incredibly good for, you know, evasion, block, dodge characters. Like, I mean, it's great for a lot of characters. Glancing blows is just great, but anyways. You see what I mean. Like, you get better at the game, you understand, like, it is a better idea to branch out at times, but for your first character, you can, like, super easily get away with never leaving your localized starting point in the passive tree. And, again, why I said that it's a good idea that Scion is not playable at the very start, because that would be overwhelming to new players. If somebody saw the Scion and was like, oh my god, she can go anywhere she wants on the tree, that's crazy. But then, like, seconds later, they're like, well, I've got no fucking clue what would be good for me to go for, and then they just drop the game. But yeah, the devotion tree sucks. End of the line. I think it's pretty poorly designed. Like, there's no information on, like, even roughly what the different, like, I don't know what to call them. There probably is a name for them, but, like, the little colored stones that kind of theme the different devotion trees. There is no indication on, like, what kind of colored stone you should be picking for what kind of character you're playing. It's literally just look at every single devotion tree, and then maybe you'll have some idea of what you want to do with your character. Like, I looked at a few of them, and I was just like, okay, well, this has an on-trigger, or, like, a trigger-on-hit effect. And I have a lot of attack speed, so I guess I'm gonna go for that, because that'll proc for me pretty often. This is, like, literally all that went into my decision-making. And I still made a mistake. The first point, just because I fucking read the tree wrong, and I thought it needed a blue orb, but actually it needed a green or something. Or maybe the opposite. I think I took a green, but it needed a blue. So I wasted a devotion point, and maybe it's not a big deal, and maybe I will be able to use the misspent devotion point somewhere else, or maybe I just fucked everything up and will be upset about it forever. Who knows? But one thing is for certain. I think is way, way, way too overwhelming for new players, like, right at the start. And you get, like, your first devotion point within, like, an hour or two of play.
I'm not up to that just yet.
It's just like, welcome to the game. Here is a decision that is supposed to be big and impactful. I hope you're ready to spend 3 hours looking at different stats and figure out which one is best for you. And also, by the way, we're never going to tell you what vitality damage is. So there's definitely some issues I've had with Grim Dawn, like, very, very early on. But in general, I think it's still pretty fun so far. I may change my mind on that too. We'll see. Let me go to the docks first. It's definitely on the easier side. Like, the only reason I was challenged on that fight that locked me in with an enemy is because it was also an area where the enemies were like 4 or 5 levels higher than me. So, like, I probably should have just left in the first place, but like I said, it's like really easy to kite enemies endlessly, so even though they did a shit ton of damage to me, I could just like kite them backwards a little bit and not really be threatened by them. Which is kind of an issue. Dude, my mana problems are not solved. Is your mana leech based on unreserved mana? Please tell me it's not. From life leech with maximum recovery. Okay, no, it's unreserved mana. That's still... Oops, I keep hitting M, because that's map key in Grim Dawn. I need to rebind that. Because M is, like, honestly pretty annoying to press often. I really hate the fact that they don't have an overlay map. Like, that's another huge issue for me. Apparently the devs have, like, talked about it, and it's because they didn't want their beautiful environments to have a map over them constantly. And I've kind of talked about that when making thumbnails for my Path of Exile streams, but who fucking cares? It makes the game so much better to play. Like, it feels very, very awkward without an overlay map. I need to do more damage. I haven't upgraded my weapons in a while, and it shows item level 16, item level 19. Let's do that next time I get to a waypoint. Like I said, I'm still killing things pretty easily, because, you know, built my character appropriately. I knew what nodes to go for quickly. Getting the 100% fizz to cold is a pretty big deal. Because a lot of enemies have fizz resistance in the form of armor and stuff, but not too many enemies early on have elemental resistances.
I'm not up to that
Unless they're, like, clearly themed after a certain element. Which these guys are not. So I would reckon that they probably have 0% elemental resist. But that's just a theory. There's also, it's very strange playing a game where the majority of enemies have no modifiers. I don't even know how modifiers work on enemies in Grim Dawn. Like, sometimes you'll find an enemy hero, they're called, or like enemy boss sometimes. But it's not very outlined what that actually means, and I've hovered over them like once, but I didn't get like a very clear idea of what they were doing differently than normal enemies, so I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know. I honestly have no clue. No idea. Alright, I will harvest my plants. as soon as I get some base types to craft up. Yeah, it feels weird. Like, the only sort of item customization you really have, as far as I have seen so far, and maybe later in the game they introduce, like, more item crafting options, but for now, it's pretty much just, like, you get these special consumable items that permanently upgrade an item, but you can only use one of them per item. So it's just like a very minor flat bonus to the item. And I mean very minor, at least from what I've seen so far. Maybe there's some more impactful ones, but they're also like just, I don't know, they're very boring. It's just like, do more fire damage and like some fire conversion. And the other thing is like, damage conversion is like way less interesting in Grim Dawn because modifiers to damage only apply to the final damage type, not the way it is in Path of Exile where it's every damage type an item has been along its journey through damage conversion. Which is expected because, like, I don't know, Path of Exile is pretty unique in the way it does damage conversion, but it's also very cool in the way it does damage conversion. And it makes damage conversion like a lot more powerful and interesting. Whereas in Grim Dawn, I'm using a skill that I have the option of turning 100% of my damage into elemental damage. And first off, I don't even know what elemental damage means. I'm not sure if it's like evenly split between fire, cold, and lightning, or if it triples my damage output because I'm doing like, say I'm doing 100 fizz. If I'm doing 100 elemental damage, does that mean I'm doing 100 lightning, cold, and fire? Or is it, you know, 33 lightning, 33 cold, 33 fire? I don't know. I don't know what it means. Or maybe elemental damage is its own thing that is neither lightning, cold, or fire. It's just its own thing with its own fucking resistance. There's so many damn resistances. Way too many. I wouldn't say too many, because honestly, I think there's room for more resistances in something like Path of Exile, even. I think it shouldn't be as easy as it is to get max res. Oh, let's see. Do I want any of these? Nope.
There is nothing else.
No, I do not. Oops. Well, actually, wait, I probably will purchase some base types for crafting. There you have it.
Bring me these on invoice.
Okay. 3 skill points. Where are we going? I guess I'm going here, right? Why not? Okay.
Well,
Nope, wrong person. You have any swords for sale, sir? Okay. I thought this was the... Oh, no, it's only the, like, high-level one that gives increased elemental damage, I think. Honestly, I could probably use the accuracy rating. So, let's take a couple of these. And I already have a wolf pelt, so no real reason to take another. Outside of that one having 4 sockets, I guess, but I can craft that later if I want. Garbage boots. Yeah, absolutely trash. Moving on. Okay, garbage. Just weapons.
Bring me back something nicer.
Let's see what I can do with those. I guess we will start over in the purple town since that has fizz nodes. Most likely to be able to actually be used. But yeah, back to like the point of what I was saying is why the fuck would I want to ever turn 100% of my fizz damage to elemental damage in Grim Dawn if fizz mods mean nothing. It's weird. Like, I don't even know, if I have added fizz on a weapon, does that also get converted to elemental? It's not very clear. I would assume it probably does, but I don't know. Alright, reforge a normal or magical item. Yes. Yes, please. Alrighty. Yeah, I would say that that's a decent damage improvement. Okay, less of a damage improvement. Well, actually, it has a lot of elemental damage. Sure. Both of those are upgrades. Not going to be too upset by that. And there's nothing else I can really do here, right? Fire, nope. Wait, what? Why couldn't I... Am I going crazy? Item level is too high for those. That's what the problem is. I see. Well, I don't care then. Condense. It's probably going to be the case for all of these also. Hello. Anything I can do here that I would care about? Okay. Don't know why those guys were still alive. Oops. Life. Oh wait, what am I doing? The helmet actually had... Well, now it has a better life roll. I was gonna say it had a really good life roll. And it did. It did have a really good life roll. Alright, not bad. How much do I want to mess with this? Okay. I mean, it has better resistances, so I can't be too upset by that. Anything else I care to do here? Probably not. I don't know. Oh, well, item level. Oh, not for these. This one was not too impressive. Let's see if I can make it better. Nope. Nope. Okay. Substantially worse. Awesome. Next. No on-death effects from you guys. Defense mods is kind of eh. I mean, I could see what I could do with this. Okay. Sick. I mean, if you're gonna give me a new... Oh, its sockets aren't empty. Oops. If you're gonna give me a new defense modifier, I'll take it. No idea what it gave me. I didn't really pay attention to what it was before. There you go. Alright, replant. Or replant. What was that line? What is that line? What is that line? Am I losing it? I'm gonna assume that's a bug? What are these lines from? Okay, I have no clue. Replant. Goodbye. I'm done with you, farm. For now. Done with you for now. Let's go back to Larnara's temple.
So much to answer for.
I hate how easily I get a headache by wearing headphones. Is my head too big or something? Also, what are my defenses? Oh, what? Really? I have like hardly even tried. I think I did a little bit last time, but I've like re-rolled all of my modifiers and equipment. How am I max res? Weird. Like I said, it's really not that hard to get max res in Path of Exile. Probably not a great thing. Probably not great. But not their most pressing concern at the moment. There are definitely better things to be working on than resistance balance. Because it's fine. Like, it doesn't... Resistances aren't like a super interesting defense because of the fact that they are so easy to get maximized, and also the game like heavily punishes you for not having them maximized, since they have been so easy to get maximized for so long. They have, whether intentionally or not, balanced all of the damage around having maximum resistances. So you better have max, or you're gonna regret it. What's my accuracy? I feel like I'm missing. It's 100%. I'm just not getting close enough to enemies. The targeting in Grim Dawn is also a little janky. I feel like most of the time when I'm targeting an enemy like right in front of me, like say I was targeting that golden pot, this is what my Grim Dawn character does. They go like this, and then they go past the enemy, and then like right behind it, and then start attacking. This is a weird way this level generated. Oh, I forgot to re-equip my Herald. But I just really don't see how D4 could compete with PoE. I mean, especially at the time of D4's release, it'll be PoE 2. How are they going to compete, man? It's going to be a much simplified experience. At least from what I've seen, they haven't really shown any interesting ways you can tweak or modify your weapons. I'm not even sure how much of that was in D3, because like I said, I really didn't play it that much. So I don't know. just hard to go back to anything. Like, I've been enjoying my time with Grim Dawn decently well enough, but also, like, you know, I've been enjoying my time while at the same time being like, this is not nearly as good as Path of Exile. Like, I have not had an experience where I'm like, oh my god, why is anybody playing Path of Exile when they have Grim Dawn? It's very much been like, okay. I mean, it's like it's still fun in its own way, and there's nothing super wrong with it yet, outside of the things I've mentioned, like Devotion Tree particularly. And the fact that you can't do anything with your items, making them kind of boring, but okay. I take issue with a few things. But I don't necessarily think they're, like, bad. It's just like, yeah, you can have a game like that. Like, you can make an ARPG that way. It's just, like, no longer going to excite me. Oh, I should probably not sell that. Thanks to Harvest. I don't know. At this point, I've got so many uniques, I don't really care. I don't care. Chaos is nice.
Be careful.
Piety tread careful.
Alright. Almost to the notable. Why did I go for... Oh, okay. Let's crit chance. I see why I went with the upper path now. I have no other crit investment in this build at all. I'm pretty sure. What is with these misses, dude? Why am I whiffing? Yeah, like, I seem to have a 100% chance to hit. I don't know what's causing the whiffs. Are you dead? Yeah, okay. Give me that life flask. I mean, there is still something to be said about how, you know, with the amount of crafting you can do in Path of Exile, item drops kind of don't mean that much. And especially if they're... I still don't think that they're going to keep Harvest. I think what is more likely is they are going to hopefully see that it doesn't completely ruin the game. Maybe they do think it ruins the game. I don't know. But I think that if they don't completely hate it, that what they would do is probably not keep Harvest in the game, but instead beef up the current, like, crafting system, like, just make, like, more currency orbs to do some of the things that Harvest allowed you to. Like targeted exalts, targeted annuls, targeted chaos. Wait, is that a 20? No, it's 16. No, I don't care. Don't care. But, I don't know. I really think that Harvest is kind of a weird... I enjoy it, and I really enjoy the crafting options it gives you. But I do think that, like, for such a, you know, powerful crafting system, it is a kind of weird system to interact with. Like, I don't... The farm aspect of it could use some work. I think that because it is so, like, set it and forget it, like, once you have set up your farm, it's weird. There is no, like, micromanaging that needs to be done further. Like, you know, and something like... Let's talk about Stardew, since that's directly farming. You constantly engage with your farm because the seasons change. So you have to, you know, change what you have planted, and, you know, once they are grown, it's not like a... I don't know. Maybe it is kind of similar to that, because you don't really engage with farming that much in Stardew Valley, so maybe that wasn't a good example. But let's go to Factorio. It's like, it's weird relating it to Factorio because it is, like, so non-existent in Path of Exile, like in Harvest. Like, there really is no complexity to it at all, so relating it to something like Factorio, which has a lot of complexity, is kind of weird, but I'm going to do it. A lot of other people have done it. It's really the closest thing I could relate it to when I'm trying to get my point across. So while in Factorio, you do, like, set up a portion of your factory and can forget it so long as, you know, you didn't completely mess it up. It's like, it's something that you make and then build off of in the future. It's kind of like, you know, object-oriented programming and abstracting and stuff. Like, once you have made a piece, you don't really need to think about that piece too often unless it's broken. You just kind of build off of it, right? Whereas in Harvest, it's like, once you have your farm set up to grow the plants you want, you don't engage with it at all. You just plant the plants and, you know, kill the monsters. But, like, the monsters aren't even really a threat at all. So I don't know. I feel like, and I'm not sure how I would want them to do it, because, like, I don't know. I'm not sure if it should be more engaging. I don't think it has to be. But I also think that it's kind of a weird system to have such a powerful crafting system behind. It just feels a little awkward. That being said, it definitely suffices as a league. I just don't think it is going to stay in the game after. But I definitely think that they will take to heart, hopefully, that the crafting was not a mistake. Hopefully they take to heart that this crafting can work and, you know, Path of Exile can survive with such a powerful crafting system. That being said, Path of Exile really, really needs to work on item drops being more important in some regard. And they, you know, with the rare rework, I'm not sure if they really plan on making rares more powerful in some way. I think what they are more likely to do is just give you less rares and let you craft them to be more powerful. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. But I've already talked about the influences at length. I really feel like influences should be a natural drop only sort of thing. And the Conqueror orbs kind of grind my gears a bit. Because, like, that so easily brings value to items again. Like, you still need to care about item drops because if you don't get, you know, the drop of the Conqueror base type that you want, you have to, you know, keep target farming that specific Conqueror until you get it. Can you put the bubble shield up so I'm not... Oh wait, I'm not taking Corrupted Blood. I'm just taking bleed from your hits. I don't do any damage. Remember when I was talking about how this character is fine? It's just single target, honestly. I have such horrible single target at the moment. And it's probably gonna stay like that for a little bit, at least. Is that really the first time I've done it as Ranger? No. No, I've definitely beaten Dominus as Ranger before. I think I just did it probably... before achievements were added. Probably before the Steam version even existed, honestly.
Cities are a blight upon nature, and San was the foulest of them all.
Would not
I'm not
surprise
up to
me.
that just yet.
Because I've definitely played a fair bit of Ranger before. Not in a while. So I understand why I got the achievement, but... definitely played it before. Oh, okay. It'll be interesting to see what they do. And, you know, apparently, according to Chris Wilson, the next league is very exciting for some reason. They've talked about fixing flasks for like 3 leagues. They've been like, yeah, that's on the docket. We plan on fixing that. Multiple leagues have come out. Flasks haven't been touched. It's kind of a hard thing to touch, though, because like a lot of people don't even have a problem with it, I think. So, while, you know, I do think the people who have a problem with it are correct, not just because I'm one of them, although it probably has something to do with that. It will probably upset, like, quite a few people who did not even know that there were issues being talked about with flasks. Yeah, I feel like the general consensus is kind of like, it's not fun to spam the buttons all the time. One cycle, as if that means anything. So what do I do with this character at the moment? How do I fix its single target? Probably just get a 4-link to start with. That would help. I really want to fix the mana issue too. Like, I think the mana issue, like I said, will just kind of be solved by having more max mana as the character levels up, but it is going to be annoying for a little bit. I'm already max resistances, why do I care? If you have high res. Alright. I should probably be harvesting more often, given that, like, all of my seeds are too low level for my equipment. Like, ooh. Ooh. That's, not a good sign. Let's just plant everything. And I'm probably not going to be able to use all of these seeds because of the, low level of some of them. What? I know there's more purple ones. I just looked at them. Why? Why? Does it just not plant the low level ones because it knows I can't use them? Or what's going on with that? Or maybe it's just buggy. I don't know. It feels weird that it doesn't auto-plant everything. Whatever. Okay. So, that's nice. Now where do I go? It's like all defensive stuff if I go up on the tree. I really don't have that much offensive stuff on the tree at all. I have very, very little offensive. Which is fine. It is a hardcore character. You kind of expect that. I would hope. Expect it and respect it.
A lake drained, a million creatures lost, just so San can keep its fruits flowing.
Okay. Lore. Elemental equilibrium. I should try a build where elemental equilibrium is a positive. I don't really know how it works. Like, elemental equilibrium is what I'm thinking of, right? It's the keystone where... Oops. Elemental equilibrium. Yeah. Guess who just took second place? Let's go. You talking about the stricter rule set, right? The no exploits? 1247. Are you not talking about no exploits? No, the real one? Holy shit. Actually impressive. Big news. Were there like... Because I know, like, Aki is fucking insane. Was there any mistake that you're like, oh my god, that was a horrible mistake, I lost so much time on that? Or was it, like, actually a clean run? And there were a few... Well, at least you know. It would be the worst if you had, like, a clean-ass run. But we're still not first. So at least there's a few mistakes. Could have gotten 1245 still. Like, if you're talking about mistakes and that's only 2 seconds lost. Maybe 43, still 4 seconds, like those aren't huge mistakes then. Okay, you're getting lower and lower by the second here. It was Scar, that's annoying. Oh, Arcanist. You ready to pop off? We're gonna pop off on this strong box. With my 1 orb of scouring. 1k. I don't even have an elk. Are you kidding me? I don't even have an elk. Can I buy an elk? It takes an orb of regret, which is 2 orbs of scouring, which is 4 orbs of chance. No, I don't want to buy 4 of those. I'll buy exactly the amount I need. Oh, wait. Okay, good, it's just 1. Da-da-da. He kept clipping you out. Oh, yeah, go ahead. I'll pog off by myself over here. I'm probably not going to use the Chaos, but I am at the very least going to alk it. Give me something good here. I'm alright. the antibiotics have pretty much sorted me out. Like, the pain flares up every now and then. Contains 5 additional items. That's worse. Okay, that should be fine, though. Yeah, the pain flares up a little bit, but for the most part, it is substantially better. Like, I no longer feel like I am actually dying. Like I did on Saturday. Like, it was so sudden. It was just, you know, midway through my shift. And, like, so the first half of the shift, I was working with my manager. And for the second half of the shift, it swapped out to the assistant manager. Which I feel, like, really bad about, because, like, as soon as my assistant manager showed up, I was just like, hey, I kind of feel like I might die. I gotta go. So, like, as soon as he showed up, he was expecting to have a nice, relaxing double shift with his friend, and I had to go. Yeah. It was frightening, but I am glad that, at least for now, it is going to go away, and hopefully it goes away forever, but we'll see. We'll see. Alright, I can leave now. Where did I even get that Gem Cutter's Prism? Not the most important thing, I guess. Going to need quite a few more of those before it actually becomes useful. I never know what to use Gem Cutter's Prisms on. Like, I always have to look at every single skill gem I have. Luckily, I was going to work Friday, too. I'm not sure if it's because I am friends with the assistant manager. I mean, to some degree. I mean, I'm not, like... I don't talk that much with my manager outside of work, but we do talk a little bit. Damn, he, that guy did a lot of fizz. I've talked to my manager a few times out of work, so they respect me enough to give me the week off. Which is nice of them. I should probably work on my defenses a bit. What is my chance to dodge? It's nice, yeah. It is nice. Chance to block is actually 30%. What is my evasion? Chance to dodge 4%. Evasion is 58? Why the fuck was he hitting me so hard? Yeah, see you when you get back. I mean, I understand that I have no fizz reduction at all at the moment. So that probably... Okay, things are hitting me more than they should be right now. What is the deal? This is not a dangerous area. It shouldn't be a dangerous area. I have max res. That's like the only thing you care about in Act 4, is having max res. I also don't have that much life, actually. That's probably, like, the main issue. Oh well. Oh well. I think I should just start heading towards, oops. I think I'll get Iron Reflexes first. I mean, I'm gonna get that notable since I already started working towards it. Get Iron Reflexes, and then work my way up to Acrobatics and Phase Acrobatics. Which isn't that far away. But I definitely want to get the Iron Reflexes before I get Acrobatics. Because increasing my dodge chance is sick, but at the cost of evasion... I mean, it would probably still work out to a net positive, in chance of not being hit, but, you know. I'd like to bank on my fizz reduction a little bit more. Did I get what I needed to here? Yes. It's just the Nico mission, pretty much. Floor 2 is where you find the ghost.
Feels like something stirring in its sleep.
I didn't make the post I said I was going to about influences. I might still. But it's kind of, I don't know. Whenever I make a post, I'm like way too verbose. And like I literally would write the Reddit/forum post in like the exact way I explained it, where I, you know, gave counter arguments. I really, what I'm saying is I should have been a journalist. Very well respected industry nowadays. Joke. Like, my damage is so fine in clearing packs. It's just single target's kind of ass, and my defenses are kind of ass at the moment. Like, that doesn't hurt me at all, and sometimes it can hurt. I think it's just fire damage, and I have, like, such good fire res by this point that it's not affecting me. Interesting. Ice Bite probably isn't actually the best in slot for me right now. Ice Bite probably... Because, like, I was looking at my Path of Building to see what supports would be best for me, like, first, because, you know, it orders them in damage when you're selecting them. But I don't think it's too accurate for this point in my character, because the only damage I'm getting from Ice Bite is from Frenzy Charges, and I don't actually get that many Frenzy Charges yet. So I actually think I would probably be better with just like a multiplier. So I can swap that out pretty easily. I'll just get like melee physical would probably be better. And I could really use a 4-link too. Like that would really solve a lot of my damage woes at the moment. But I mean, basically I'm only on like a 2-link because the only super damage benefit I'm getting from my supports right now is the elemental damage with attacks. I mean, I'm actually generating Frenzy Charges from Ice Bite, but it's just not good enough. Yet. Not good enough yet. I love how exciting the game makes alterations on... I'm still not sure if that's a solo self-found thing or what, but I do like it. Alright, let's swap out my gems. Let's swap them out. Shouldn't be too hard. I'm only going up here to drop off my seeds, not actually going to craft. Although, can I? Hello? Oh, it's the fucking bugged farm where none of the UI shows up. I think I could, but the second plants I planted aren't ready yet, so I guess I won't. Not that, like I said, I'm even going to be able to use those, because those are so low level. Thank you, thank you. Alright. So, get that. Nice. What do I want then? Let me look at Path of Building. Elemental damage with attacks. Probably Ruthless. Hypothermia? I mean, honestly, right now... Melee Physical would probably just be better. We'd take this, this, and that. And go to... Siosa. Hello. I would love for you to give me... Multi-strike. Okay. I mean, yeah, multi-strike. But I can't even get that yet, first off. Secondly, it would really boost up my mana cost, which I don't even think I could handle. Alright, so let's start out with Ruthless. Oh, that's easy enough. Okay, Hypothermia. What does that give you at level 1? 20% against chilled enemies. Okay, now that versus Melee Physical. 30% at level 1. Why? What does Melee Physical get up to? Give me a second. Melee Physical goes up to 49%. Why is it saying Hypothermia is better for me? Melee... Oh, well... It wouldn't benefit my projectiles. It wouldn't benefit my projectiles. But still. It's weird that it's saying Melee Physical... Okay, wait, am I missing something? Support skills have 20% increased effective chill. That does no extra damage. Support skills have plus 10% chance to freeze enemies which are chilled. No extra damage. Supported skills deal 39% more cold damage over time. I don't deal cold damage over time. Supported skills deal 39% more damage with hits and ailments against chilled enemies. I feel like I'm losing my mind over here. Why is Melee Physical less? I'm only looking at the melee hit. It must be that I'm missing something. I don't know how. I don't know what I'm missing, but... I think for now, at the very least... Oh, fuck it. I'll just take Hypothermia. It's telling me Hypothermia is good. I really feel like... I don't know. I don't know, dude. I know that it's definitely better to take Hypothermia because I'm also shooting projectiles, and that wouldn't affect the projectiles, but... Outside of that, I don't understand why the melee hit is doing better. I'll just level Frost or Ice Bite. Elemental damage with attacks, and Ruthless I need to put in, but I need to link them, so... okay, Ice Bite, Hypothermia, and Multi-Strike. Well, I'll get Multi-Strike, and then I'll swap that in somewhere. What else can I get, actually, right now? I could get Withering Step, right? Why haven't I been offered that yet? Oh, maybe I can't get it yet. Never mind. Oh wait, there it is. Maybe I have been offered it and just missed it. Probably. Alright. Dash, get out of here. Just make sure that... Oh. Wait, what? This isn't a... Wait, what? While you have this buff, monsters that enter an area. Why is this labeled as a blink skill? Blink? It doesn't blink you anywhere. Okay, so I still need dash. Why is that labeled as a blink skill? That makes no sense, and I'm upset now. Ice Bite support is accidentally going to support Herald of Ice, but maybe I don't care. Ooh. That's some mana regen, isn't it? Okay, whatever. Withering Step, Frostbite, I should get.
It's so good to have.
There it is. Frostbite. Hatred, Herald of Ice. Flesh and Stone. I'm probably not going to be able to use because I really have mana issues right now, and then Summon Lightning Golem I'll get in a bit. I guess I might as well buy Flesh and Stone, though. I mean, we'll see. And swap these out, because apparently this isn't actually a movement ability. I mean, it makes you fast, but, you know, doesn't blink like it says it does. Okay. Moving on. Well, actually, wait, can I... Okay, so I can put on you with Ice Bite. That's a little bit too close to the bottom. I'm gonna move Ice Bite to my helmet. That's 100% of my mana reserved. Wait a second. That's not right. Unreserved mana 0. Whoops. Okay, I can't use Flesh and Stone. I don't know why I thought I could. It's 25%? I guess I'm thinking of, what is it? Blood and Sand is less than 25%. Blood and Sand is 10%. Yeah, okay. I thought they were the same. They aren't. Alright, take that off then. Whoopsies. Get out of here. Okay, I could probably get this to 4-link pretty easily. Oops, wait. Thank you for not letting me, game. There you go. We got Ruthless. We got elemental damage with attacks. We got Hypothermia. We got Frostblades. I was looking at that for so long because I was like, the skill looks exactly like melee attack damage, or melee physical. But, this is not melee. It's just all attacks. Alright. Probably put the armor on. It's a good idea.
Ta-ta.
Alright. Fire first.
This isn't the car we
My damage should be quite a bit better. Quite a bit better. I actually stunned him? Wait, what? I don't do any fizz. That's surprising. The unexpected stun. So I guess I should just be using Withering Step kind of like a guard skill instead of a movement skill. Wait, why is my elusive... Oh, my elusive is ending so fast because when you use an attack, it purges it. That's right. So actually, fucking... Am I ever gonna get any use out of Withering Step? Wait a second. Does elusive always go away when you attack, or is it just the elusive you get from Withering Step? I don't know. It's not very clear. It just says it on the skill, but it doesn't say it as like a modifier, so that leads me to believe that that's just the way Withered works, but... Or sorry, Elusive works. I'm not sure. I mean, I could quickly check. Nope. But there's not really any easy way of getting elusive. Badge of the Brotherhood, but I know that that's super expensive. Yeah. Okay. Wait, does Badge of the Brotherhood even give you elusive? Wait a second. No. Why is that so expensive? I don't know. Nightblade support is like the only real way to get it for me, I guess. Support skills grant elusive on critical strikes. Support skills... And it can only be used with claws or daggers. So yeah, that's off the table. Oh well. Oh well. I guess I will be removing that from my POB as well. That's gonna get rid of some buffs. Actually, my attack dodge and spell dodge wasn't hurt that much. Kinda surprised. But I do get it from a lot of other locations, so I guess I'm not that surprised. Alright, get out of here. Withering Step. What is with the stuns, man? It's freaking me out. Elemental stuns. Who would have thought? Okay, so I should probably be careful about the boss that I accidentally face tanked on my last character, because I, in all likelihood, won't be able to do the same thing for this one. Like, I do have max fire res, but I, pretty sure there's a decent amount of physical damage in that attack, too. Maybe not. Maybe not. But I don't know. My dodge chance isn't even that good. And I don't know if it counts as a spell, in which case my dodge chance is like literally 0 right now, I think. Pretty sure. So whenever there's a huge pack and I hit multiple enemies, my mana is fine. On single target, which is what I'm suffering with in every other case also, my mana kind of suffers. Dude, the cast speed on Frostbite is... Oh, no, okay. I was like debuffed or something. Felt very slow for a second. Okay, apparently my crops are done. Okay, so this is the boss. Okay. I guess it's just not going to aim at me. That makes my life a lot easier. They don't have to attack me. It's fine. I prefer it that way. Okay. Going towards Iron Reflexes. I probably will make my, my post about influences. I was also, like, a little bit distracted by the whole medical scare thing I mentioned. So, first thing on my mind wasn't really, let's make a post about influences to the Path of Exile subreddit or forums. Probably both. Dude, you may have stunned an enemy, and you may have frozen an enemy. But have you ever stunned a frozen enemy before? Probably not. Is he hexproof? God damn it. Wasted all that time hexing him. You know, for how much I do kind of dislike how flasks are in Path of Exile right now, it is mostly utility flasks that I take issue with. Like, just the concept behind flasks, instead of, like, you know, how potions are in most games, where they're consumables, and you either have to find them as drops or buy them. Like, the amount of life potions I have in Grim Dawn is kind of absurd. And also, kind of weird. Like, if they're gonna make them drop so often, why even have them as a consumable? It's just, I don't know. I so much prefer the, like, Dark Souls style versus the Bloodborne style. Like, blood vials are just worse, in my opinion, because, like, I don't know why they made that decision. I don't know if they wanted to maintain, like, a different image for Bloodborne, wanted to stay separate from Souls, and thought that if they had a Estus type thing that it would be too similar. I don't know. But whatever their reasoning, I disagree with it, because blood vials were a mistake. Blood vials were very much a mistake. And I don't think that many people disagree with that. And if they do, boy oh boy, do I have some things to talk to them about. Like, why? Why do you think the way you do? How'd it happen? So, my defenses are pretty rough. I should be fine on this boss, because it's more fire damage than anything else. There's probably a little fizz. But I'm faster than him, and he's like really slow. Like, I can dodge these attacks easily. Which is another weird thing about Grim Dawn. I'm pretty sure the base movement speed in Grim Dawn is faster than Path of Exile's base movement speed, but they have an acceleration to it, so that, like, when you start moving, you aren't at your max move speed. You have to, like, move for, like, a full second before you reach max move speed, which feels awful when you're trying to, like... I'm sure the reasoning behind it is so that it's harder to, like, pivot around enemies' attacks, but that feels really gross. Do not like it. Okay, I need to stop picking up Scrolls of Wisdom. It's that time of the build. That special time. 30 minutes in for most people. I do like one-hitting most enemies. That's pretty sick. Does Ruthless... Wait a second. Would Ruthless affect my projectiles? It's so... Okay, wait. Ruthless blows supported skills deal 96% more melee damage, so that does not affect my projectiles. I believe. Yeah. So Ruthless is just in there to support my single target, which isn't bad, probably. Probably okay to have at least one support gem that is just for single target improvements. If I change my mind on that, I can always change it to, oh shit, I can't. I was gonna say I could change it to melee physical, but that has the same problem. It's just for melee. So that modifier wouldn't actually affect the projectiles. Damn. I don't know what I would change it to. Surely there's something I could change it to, though. I'll figure it out when it comes to that point, if it comes to that point. I still can't believe I'm stunning with cold damage. How did that happen? Like, the thing that's frustrating me about it is that it never happened on my fire damage slam guy. Like, I was never stunning enemies with my slams. Okay, this is definitely the wrong way. But here, when I'm doing cold damage on like much faster attacks, I am being rewarded with stuns? It's bullshit. Should have known that that way would have been a dead end. Wait, what was that message for? To enter Vinctar Square? I have no idea what that area is.
To the Grove Exile. A harvest awaits.
I probably should do Harvest. I have no base types, though. I guess I could buy them, you know. It's not too hard. You know what, the next best thing to replace Ruthless, if I was going to, would probably just be added cold damage. In all likelihood. I think that's the only thing that would affect both the melee and projectile hit at this point. Still, the clear on this build is pretty nice for this point in the game. I mean, it's not the best, but okay, this is why you should fix your flasks. It's a warning sign for me. That's a fix your goddamn flasks right now, Will. So I guess I'll be doing that. What the fuck is this guy doing? Get out of here. Almost got killed to the classic. The classic freezing strongbox. And it would have been my own fault. And my mouse is still fucking up with me. So I'm pretty sure the issue with my mouse is not batteries at this point. It's just wireless interference because of my headphones, probably. Which is frustrating. But there's not much I can do about that if I want wireless headphones. So the next question is, what do I mind a wire on more? Headphones or a mouse? And I hate to make that decision, because, like, I'm weird with my mouse. Like, I really don't want headphone cords, because that's annoying. But, like, I'm weird with my mouse, and that this is my keyboard, and I put my mouse directly in front of my keyboard. Like some sort of subhuman freak. But I get the full, you know, horizontal distance of my mouse pad. It's nice. Should give it a shot. So I am doing an absurd amount of damage when I actually use my frostbite. That being said, defense is not in a great place. I was running away while I had bleed on, but whatever. My defenses should be able to tank that. This is gonna be fine. The sword blade thing hurt more than I would like it to, but okay, actually he's hurting me all around more than I would like him to. I don't want to know how in trouble I would be if I took one of those hits. Also, he doesn't give you any opportunity for flask charges, does he? Like these, yeah, the sword things aren't enemies. Ouch. Ouch. Oh, wait, I got flask charges from somewhere. Who knows where. I'll be fine.
The only love you had, Doresso, was for yourself.
Damn. Destroyed. That's it. 2 chromatics. That's what my inventory is comprised of. Actually, oh wait, that's a dagger. Yeah, get out of here. Way too many seeds. Way too many seeds. I know they did increase the quantity of seeds, but I thought that was just for mapping. Maybe I'm wrong on that though. Okay. I wish I could fucking sit up a little bit more and raise my mic. How does that look? I need to check now. I might have brought it too close. Yeah, it's fine. Feels better. I was kind of like breaking my neck slightly. Alright. No, I have to talk to her in the Crystal Veins before I can get the quest reward. I am feeling better. Antibiotics helped me out a great deal. How you doing? Saw you were streaming Kingdom Hearts speedrunning? I haven't known you that long, so I guess I don't really know if you've done that for a while. Got a PB in Kingdom Hearts? Is it 1 or 2? I didn't really notice. 1. How is that like as a speed game? I imagine it would, I don't know, that would be kind of weird. Especially, Kingdom Hearts 1 is like, like, do the gummy sections, like, kill you internally? Because I imagine that would kind of get a little bit tiresome. Just a tiny bit. Alright, let me buy some items, and I'll do harvest. Oops. Well, I don't know. I could buy rings, but I don't care.
What do you want?
Gummy early is bad, but you put on ship upgrades to go fast. That makes sense. That makes sense. I just, like, all I remember from Kingdom Hearts 1, outside of, like, there being absolutely no direction for your first playthrough, is, the gummy sections being very long and having absolutely no challenge. Why buy that one? This one is just strictly better. Whatever. I'm sticking with it. I bought the wrong one. That's my mistake to live with. I would imagine that would be pretty boring. But at least it's only the first couple that are bad. Alright. Only one-handed weapons you have are thrusting swords. Or one-handed swords, at least. I mean, I might as well take them. Honestly, probably going to be better damage-wise than what I currently have.
I'm watching.
Without that much of an upgrade. PB with a death in final fights and a trash early game. Damn. What are the final fights in KH1? It's been so long. I know it's definitely... Oh, it's the fucking huge, like, battleship guy. And then he has a stand. Ansem 1 through 4. I forgot Ansem turns into a fucking battleship, dude. Oh my god. What a game. What a game. It's... What a strange way to decide to end your game. Alright. Let's harvest. Tough even on beginner? What difficulty do you speedrun? Do you speedrun? I mean, I assume beginner, because that's probably the fastest with how ridiculous their HP bars. Yeah. HP bars go a little bit insane. So that makes sense. Yo, not bad. For a first roll, probably just gonna keep that. Oops. Oops. The double mistake where you mess up your craft and pick up garbage. I could do better than that. Is there anything else I can... the reforges are too low level, I guess. Yeah, level is too high. Alright. Suck up the life force, then. I saw you guys played Path of Exile again. What act did you guys get your way up to? I did see Donald talk about getting through prison, though, which is halfway through Act 1. Still in Act 1, okay. Still in Act 1. It's so wild, like, the pacing is, like, crazy how... Like, I don't even really try and play like super fast. Like, I'm taking my time crafting items here, right? When I really don't need to, honestly. Let's just re-roll it first. It's a really bad fizz roll. I would honestly be okay rolling it for fire just to get better mods. Socketed melee gems is eh. Okay, that's pretty sick. And then remove a non-fizz mod and give me a fizz mod. Yep. Ooh, that's a spicy weapon. Alright. Not bad. Not bad. But yeah, I don't really try and rush, but it is very cool how pacing just naturally speeds up the more you play the game. It's not surprising, really. You get better at the game, you get a faster character, you just are naturally going to move through the content faster. Alright, what do we got here? Life rolls. Okay. Give me some good shit. 86 to max life. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. 17 is less exciting. Still learning things in general. Trying to focus on bleed. It's not a bad thing to focus on. Just make sure that your weapon is, like, just physical if you're going for bleed, though. Because bleed is physical damage over time. And it takes the, like, the way the debuff works is your bleed damage is based on how much physical damage you do in the hit that inflicts the bleed. So the higher your, like, physical damage is, the better your bleeds are going to be. Is there? Okay, there is a life reroll. 26 is still not great. Kind of not satisfied with these boots. I'm just going to roll them with these to get hopefully something decent. Does this have a prefix empty? It doesn't, so I roll again because I need move speed. It kind of sucks. But honestly, those boots aren't that good either, so I'm fine swapping out those. Alright, oh, did I really not have another life? I didn't. Oh wait, yeah I do. 19 to max life, and honestly pretty bad in everything else. The only thing good that I really got was the chest piece here. But I still have another harvest. Yeah, bleed is, it's not a bad thing to go for. The thing is, like, to really get the most out of bleed, you do need, like, you would want to have a big, solid, like, hit, and preferably AoE, so that you also have, like, decently fast clear speed, because bleed, unlike Ignite, cannot proliferate. Like, if you're doing an Ignite build, you have the benefit of being able to spread that fire damage to other enemies, whereas bleed, if you don't hit the enemy, you are not going to hit other enemies with the bleed, right? Also recommended, if you're going for physical, whenever you're going for physical, I recommend Impale. Because Impale is just like a super easy way of beefing up your physical damage on attacks, and like I said, the more physical damage you're doing, the better your bleeds are gonna be. Is a win-win situation. 35 isn't bad. I should probably just be satisfied with 35. Oh, actually, that's actually a really bad roll, but it's only made better by the hybrid mod that also rolled life. I'm gonna reroll that. Okay. I'm glad I re-rolled it. I got the same hybrid mod and a much better life roll, so better all around. Alright, let's try and make these boots decent. Eh. Eh. It's better. I'll probably stick with those boots and not roll them further since I only have one left. What would I give a life mod? Probably nothing, yeah? I don't know, I could get regen on my helmet. Item sockets aren't empty, of course. Give me regen, sure. There you go, 1.9 regen. We've done it. Easy peasy. Just condense the rest. And as usual, blue is not really useful for me, so I am just going to condense this pretty much immediately. You know, the other big issue with this build, defense-wise, is that I currently have no good recovery. And also, do I even get good recovery on this build? It's probably important. Probably important. Alright, unless there is add... Well, there is linking. Ooh. I think I'm gonna use that, actually. And of course, I can't portal in here. Why would you be able to? Alright, let me look at my path of building real quick just to see what my recovery is. Oh, no, I get recovery from leech. That's right. My recovery still could be a lot better. I have, like, very, very little investment in leech. It's probably enough. Well, I don't know. It probably isn't enough. It's, like 700 leech on hit. It could be, with just 2 more passive points, it could be substantially better. I'll consider it. Like, I path right here just for mana leech. Like, I could very easily increase my my life leech or my mana leech with 2 points in either direction, so if I need to make the change in the future, it won't be that difficult. For now, though, Iron Reflexes. And let's see what that does to my character. Currently, I have a 56% chance to evade attacks, whereas that gives me an estimated physical damage reduction of 58%. So, I am more consistently taking less damage, because I take less damage on every hit, instead of just being like a chance to not take damage. And the one downside to that is that it's worse for elemental damage, because I still take the full hit from elemental damage. But that's fine. I have resistances for that. That's why resistances are important. Okay, Herald of Ice and Hatred don't need any changes to sockets. Neither does Dash. Okay, my body armor is going to need some work, though. And that's why I came here. Just beef it up to 4 sockets, please. Okay. You didn't have to do that to me. 5! Let's go! Not that I'm going to use those. Well, in all likelihood. I'm going to switch body armor before I actually get a 5 link. Alright. Give me my free 4 link, though. Okay. For a second there, I thought it actually linked 5. But no. It's just that configuration instead of that configuration, which I was expecting. Alright, condense the rest. Thank you, thank you. And I still need to fix the colors before I can put it on. That's not too bad. Rolling 2 reds shouldn't be the biggest thing in the world. God, their on-death effects are a little annoying. They make them go away faster. I'm not sure if that's a change, or I mean a change in the most recent update, or if it's happened a while ago and I didn't notice, but yeah, those went away pretty fast. Would I care to put a lightning modifier on literally anything? Not really. Nope. Just condense it. Just condense it. Alright. Because I will likely need to, yeah, fiddle with my resistances a tiny bit. Go to my hideout. Alright, 73 chromatics. Shouldn't have an issue getting 2 reds. There you go. Took 3. Alright. I am wearing the... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Alright, so all of that armor upgrading got me an extra, like, 200... Well, actually, like, 300 life. So, pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Let's get, like, a, fire cold double resist. Oh, I don't have any alks. Ugh. Is there a... Yeah, there's a tier 1 that takes transmutes. I might as well just do... I've got enough mod space. Just give me a fire resist. And I'll take a cold resist somewhere else. Oh wait, did I not craft it? Oops. There you go. Fire resist. I want move speed on these. Just give me the cheap one. And cold res on my body armor, I guess. Oh, nope, apparently not. Increased evasion rating. Nah, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. Alright, cold res on my helmet. There you go. Ta-da! Just like that. Max resistances. Okay. Dude, I get another chance at getting shot. It was soiled last time. Headshot.
So this is what life inside of a nightmare looks like.
I'm glad I got iron reflexes before coming in here, because this is like all physical damage. I mean, obviously that's lightning damage, but for the most part it's fizz in here. And bleed, which is fizz over time, as previously mentioned. I'm not actually sure. Does armor actually negate bleed damage? I would imagine it does, because it is physical damage, but I guess I'm not sure if it works like that, since it's a debuff instead of a hit. It doesn't necessarily say anywhere that it's only physical damage reduction on hits, though, so I would imagine it probably reduces bleed damage. Which makes sense why bleed damage was doing so much damage to me earlier. With my 0% fizz reduction. In fact, armor probably reduces bleed like a shit ton, because wouldn't bleed technically be like very tiny fizz hits on every single frame? Meaning armor should be able to negate it pretty easily. Maybe that's not how it works, though. Maybe it just takes, like, the incoming debuff and says, like, oh, I'm gonna take, like, 1,000 bleed damage, and then it negates it at the start of the debuff instead of on each tick that you actually take damage. Who knows? Probably the wiki. Probably the wiki. Nice. Path of Exile experience. Can't be completed without dead ends. Like I mentioned. I'm still not super confident in my defenses, though. Like, I haven't taken any big hit to frighten me. But it's also not really a good idea to intentionally take a big hit to see if I can take it, either. I feel like I'm definitely doing better than I was, though, with Iron Reflexes. Should probably avoid running around with bleed on, though. You know what, I should also really, really fix my flasks real quick. And by flasks, I mean single flask. Since, how is that actually possible? How have I not? I guess the first flask you're offered is Act 5, yeah, makes sense. Outside of Quicksilver. Alright, well at the very least give me, something on my Quicksilver. Give me something. Preferably Purging Bleed. I'll take... No, I mean... Bleed makes most sense right now. Ugh, fucking... You're gonna give it to me twice. I can't argue with that. And I'll, go ahead. Slap on 11 charges with an augment. I do typically like my Quicksilver to have, Freeze Purge.
I'm not up to that just yet.
So I don't think Malachi will be too big of an issue, but maybe I'll be unpleasantly surprised by it. Still have no clue how I'm getting these stuns off. It's just upsetting. Like, I'm not upset that I'm stunning. I'm just upset that I wasn't stunning on my last build. That had way, way, way more damage per single hit. It attacked much slower, so I didn't get that many hits, but... Like, I don't do any fizz, right? I have 100% conversion. Excuse me. Where does it say that information? Oh, Piety, fuck off. I'm trying to figure out... Apparently I'm doing fire damage from something. Oh, yeah, one of my weapons does have fire. I forgot. Oh, you know what? You know what I should have done that I haven't done yet? I haven't ascended yet. Whoops. That's a mistake. Maybe I should do that before the Malachi fight. Probably. Okay, kill these guys. Yeah, not my best decision to jump into Act 4 without an Ascension. Okay, that corrupted blood was very scary. This is why I wanted a bleed removal. Just barely, like, out-healed the effects of it. Single target still really, really sucks on this build.
You've just earned yourself some bigger prey, Huntress.
Okay. Let me go. I don't even know what the
Every crime against nature imagined.
first Ascension node I'm even gonna take is. Kind of a tough call.
Raycroft blesses us once more.
I have two options to pick between. I think one of them is the... Let's see, what do I even go for? I go for the Frenzy Charge one and the... Yeah, Frenzy Charge on kill versus Elemental damage and dodge chance. Yeah. Well, that one has a benefit for being at max Frenzy Charges, so I should probably do the one that gives me Frenzy Charges first, huh? But that node is so much weaker than Quartz Infusion. So it's kind of a tougher call than I would like it to be. I saw that I was getting Frenzy Charges every now and then, but I don't know what. Is it from, I think it's from this? Yeah, 10% chance to gain a Frenzy Charge when I block. Which is, like I said, surprisingly high. 30%. 30%. Damn, I really do get a lot of block. 3%. That's block recovery. 2%, 2%, 4%. But that's it. How's that adding up to 30? That math doesn't check out. That, does dual wielding have a base chance to block that I was unaware of? It must. It surely must. Okay. Let me check that out real quick. What is the benefit? I know it's faster attack speed. Whenever the player equips two one-handed weapons, you get 15% chance to block attack damage and 10% more attack speed. Sick. Didn't know about the block chance. Alright, Ascendancy time. Better late than never. And it likely would have been never if I had gone too much further without it. Yeah, I don't really know what the right call is. I'm probably never, ever going to be at max Frenzy Charges unless I put on Ice Bite again. And even then, it has no effect for me on bosses, since Ice Bite is only on kill.
I'm not up to that.
I'm upset at my freeze chance, though. What is my chance to freeze right now? On non-crit? Chance to freeze, 10%. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense, then. I thought I... Well, okay, wait. I think the 10% I'm getting is from the node beneath the damage conversion. This one? 10% chance to freeze, yeah. I forget where I get the rest of my freeze chance, but... I should have a decent amount. And I know my crit chance is going to be garbage, because I have no investment in that, but... I didn't really, intend to invest in that. Okay, Aspirant's Trial.
The weary traveler draws close to the end of the path.
Okay, so that's 20% actually, because I'm always going to be chilling enemies. So long as they don't have a ridiculous amount of HP. Yeah, I'm chilling, guys. Okay, this one's pretty easy to manage. Oh, whatever. I am like so over-prepared for this. I still have such horrible, god-awful single target, but... Yeah, he was doing, like, no damage, and I should have taken, like, some heavy hits from that, barrage. From the ghost lady behind him. Okay, so after getting Iron Reflexes, I want to either path here? I think I get that, right? Yes, I do. That wouldn't be a horrible thing to do. Alternatively, I would be going straight for acrobatics. So let's get a little bit... Like, this is defensive too, because it gives me block. Although I'm not taking that. I'm going for the attack speed. But in general, it's a nice balance of defense and offense there. And then I'll go for the straight defense by going for... What's it called? Acrobatics, right? Yeah, acrobatics and phase acrobatics. Which is, it's very strange. Like, I understand that they want it to have a little more investment to get to phase acrobatics, but, like, you're never going to take acrobatics and not take phase acrobatics. It's just like, I don't know. I understand it. They're basically making the keystone more expensive, kind of, to get the full effect of it. Instead of spending 1 point, you have to spend 5. Nice. You don't always need dead ends. Sometimes you just find the right path. Why is only one of these active? I don't understand what the rule is for deactivating those. Is it just like killing them a certain amount of times? Will they never come back? I don't know. Do I really? I mean, I've already fucked it. I'm not going to get the extra key for having them all active, but I also don't really need to micro that aspect of the boss. Like I said, I'm already here, higher leveled than expected. Leveled and geared. It's just baffling to me how I can do so much damage to packs. Struggle so much on single target.
I'm not up to that just yet.
You really gonna make me go all the way backwards? Ugh. Completely pointless switch that I could have just dashed through. I guess I don't need to do the rest of the fire section then, huh? This is the other side of the fire section. Never mind. I think that lever was optional. Doesn't matter. What is with, like, my life leech feels insignificant. I should have the same life leech as mana leech though, right? Maximum recovery for mana leech 30. Well, I have higher because I have higher max HP, yeah. 129 per hit. I still just, I feel like I so vastly misunderstand how leech works, because I feel like I should be, does that not mean I should be leeching 129 life on every hit? I know it's limited by how much I can leech per second. But still, what is my leech per second? Maximum recovery per life leech is 129. Maximum recovery per second is 259. Like, when I'm hitting things, I don't feel like I have 259 regen, which is what it should feel like if I'm leeching that much. Right? But maybe not. Maybe I don't understand how it works. Is that the exit or the other entrance? The other... Well, actually it is an exit. Never mind. Surprised to see the exit so close to the entrance. Secret. Let me through? Okay. That's it. Nice secret. Oh, secret 2? Let's go. Nobody warns you about secret 2. There you go, that's what I'm excited for. An additional unique item. Okay. Not the most exciting. Oh, goddammit. Really gonna throw a dead end here? I don't know, are there any unique items I should really be excited about on this build? I guess the gloves that make freezes count as if you do like 200% damage. But I imagine those are probably pretty rare. What? Did I also deactivate the traps? That was some very bad dodging, but whatever. Okay. Probably not going to use either of those. Hey, I actually have good gloves. Word of force. Whatever. I have no idea what good enchantments you can get on gloves. Alright, Raider. Like a free 10% chance to dodge. Honestly, the phasing isn't really that big of a benefit. I also do get the phasing. Well, so like you need the second one for phasing to actually mean anything, since it gives you a lot of benefits while being under the effects of phasing. And the elemental damage boost is pretty sick. But I don't know, dude. The frenzy charge is also pretty sick. 20% chance? I thought it was 10%. Is Path of Building wrong, or did I misread? I misread. Whoops. Not surprising. 20% chance on kill, 20% chance when you hit rares or uniques. This is tougher than I thought it would be. Damn, dude. Maybe I do take Quartz first. Like, I can generate frenzy charges by other means, and attack speed is sick and all that, but... And I mean, the increased benefit to frenzy charges is nice, but I think those are stronger first nodes for me. I'm sure other people would probably say different. That's how I'm feeling right now. That's how I'm feeling. And then the next one I get will be the Frenzy Charge one, and then the next one I get will probably be... honestly, the second phasing one. Nope, nope. All garbage. Alright. I should maybe replant some things. I think I don't have anything planted at the moment. Oh my god, those were tier 2s. Let's at least plant my tier 2s. Wait, what does this require? Primal? Yay! I don't have, like, any. So that works out. And this. Wild and wild. Okay. There you go. Okay. I didn't think I had that many more.
That's not as thrilling as killing someone in cold blood, but you must admit there is a satisfaction to be had.
Sure. Sure. Oh, experiencing phasing. I still don't know how useful that's going to be. It's mainly for the elemental damage. And dodge chance. That I took the node. God, that guy hurt. More than I thought he would. God, why is my single target still so bad? Probably because I'm not using Frostbite. Let's start with that. Okay. These guys shouldn't be as tough as this guy is. Not a good sign. God, why is my single target so much worse? Give me flash charges, please. Like, my damage isn't bad. Like, that's really decent damage for this stage in the game, I would say. This one could use a little bit of work, but still, it's not bad. And I can even add Fizz onto that. I just haven't, because I'm dumb. So let's do that. Let's add... Oh, I'll use a portal, I don't care. Let's add Fizz. Craft up my weapons a little bit more. Yeah, okay, that is full. You, however, increased elemental damage with attacks or flat Fizz. That's a tough one. Okay, well, I don't want to use Chaos, and that's not that much, so I guess I take increased elemental damage with attacks.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Not what I was expecting, but... an improvement, regardless. I don't even think my defenses are that bad either, but I am taking much more damage than I would have thought. Like 64% Fizz reduction on average, the 10% chance to dodge is pretty low, but also on top of that, 33% chance to block. Like, and I'm gonna work towards an additional 30% chance to dodge really quickly. It will lower my other defenses, but the dodge more than makes up for that. I'm mainly, like, kinda disappointed in how little I'm freezing bosses, but I understand that bosses are pretty hard to freeze. You need quite a bit of damage to get that minimum freeze. Due to the large amount of max HP. And they've tried to help out a little bit, but it's still like an absurd amount of damage required to get minimum effect going. I do like the system, though. I think it's cool that it is based on the damage, even though it's a non-damaging effect. Like, the only effect of phasing is that you can walk through enemies, right? It's not, like, elusive. It doesn't have, like, any dodge chance implicit, I don't think. I want to be in green, if at all possible. I guess Dodra's just gonna run away. Red is pretty bad, but if I dodge, it shouldn't be the worst in the world. Please stop running away from me, though. God, the single target. Oh, I should probably frostbite up, huh? That helped a lot. Oh my god, I can actually freeze. Yeah. Yeah. God damn it, dude. What happened? What happened to my single target? For so long, I was fine. Like, that's a lot of cold damage. That's not insignificant. I don't know why it was so bad on bosses compared to my other build, which, I mean, I don't know. My other build was really bad too, but didn't struggle nearly this much. So I think that'll probably do it for streaming Path of Exile, honestly. I know it's upsetting that this character really didn't make it that far and didn't even get to experience mapping. I didn't experience mapping on either of my characters. But also, I don't know, working up the energy to make another hardcore build is kind of... it's kind of not the most enticing thing to me right now. I might, but if I'm going to, I would take a break. And honestly, if I'm going to take a break, I might as well just wait until next league, right? So yeah, I'll probably do it for Path of Exile for a few months, at the very least, but not forever. It has been an enjoyable time streaming it, but you know. While I wish I actually got to do some mapping stuff in hardcore, you know, there's always next time. I just don't want to exclusively stream Path of Exile, which is kind of what I've been doing since starting this. So, yeah, gonna take a few months break on Path of Exile. But, thanks for hanging around. Tomorrow... I don't know, I've been talking about Donkey Kong for so long. Maybe I'll finally do Donkey Kong. Or maybe I'll do one of the other hundreds of things I haven't finished. Like Pogo Stuck, Nier, I still have to finish. And honestly, with the length of Nier, it'll probably take up until the next Path of Exile League to actually finish it, but we'll see. Sucks that it ended so abruptly. I tried to portal at the end, but like, you know, you can't blame me. I had like run and it did so much bleed damage so quickly that there was nothing I could really do. Unless I had like already pre-placed the portal somewhere, and even then, like, I couldn't really run to it. It all comes down to the flask, man. If I had gotten the Purge Bleed flask instead of the remove freeze and chill. But oh well. There are other things to be done. Doesn't matter. There'll be more Path of Exile. I'll make a better character in the future, hopefully. I am upset that I couldn't get Frostblades to actually pop in the endgame, though, because I thought that would have been fun. Like, it was so good at clearing, man. What happened to the single target? It doesn't even make sense to me how I was, like, doing enough damage to one hit most, well, I guess even on some rares, I was kind of struggling, so, you know, just kind of needed to buff the damage in general, but whatever. That's a problem for the future if I ever decide to run Frostblades again, which I probably won't for a very long time at the least. But yeah, for now, gonna head out. And tomorrow, I don't know, I'll figure out what I do. I don't want to make any commitment ahead of time, because I might decide not to when I get to it, but I'll do something tomorrow. And it won't be Path of Exile, so... Variety is back. That has kind of been, like, completely cut for the past couple of weeks. Bringing that back. So yeah, see you there. See ya tomorrow.